Welcome back to the Sooner Saloon. Emerson, we have a lot to talk about. We got some positives, we got some negatives. A couple things we're going to talk about today. Caleb Williams entering the transfer portal. We have Dillon Gabriel, who's deciding to transfer to Oklahoma. And then we have Todd Bates, the Clemson D-line coach, being announced as the Oklahoma co-defensive coordinator. So, Emerson, let's start off with Caleb Williams. You know, a lot of OU fans are really surprised with this. He stuck around for the practices, for the bowl game. I mean, what's your thoughts on the whole process of Caleb Williams right now?
It is surprising, but at the same time, it's kind of not. I don't know. It's interesting. I know a lot of fans are pessimistic about it. I will say that he has entered the transfer portal, but in his statement to Oklahoma, he did say that Oklahoma remains an option, so he could come back. But I think at this point, with kind of the way with the way everything else has gone, I would expect him to not be on the roster for next year because just to prepare yourself, Sooner Nation. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, it seems like Oklahoma had a lot going for him. Seemed like the hire of Jeff Lebby and getting Venables and now getting, Todd Bates in here. It's like we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, whether it's decommits or, coaches leaving. It's crazy, but there's a couple of places in mind that I see Caleb going to. There's been rumors of Georgia, them offering Caleb a $2 million NIL deal. You have Bennett Stinson, who's a senior, and JT Daniels, who's a junior. He could very well transfer
Stetson
there.
Bennett.
So, Oregon.
Yeah, and
Oregon's
Stetson
another
Bennett
place.
was their starting quarterback, and he was a walk-on. So you don't think Caleb Williams is more talented than him?
Right. Right. His talent level is through the roof. He has such a high ceiling. Oregon can be a place that he goes to. I've heard North Carolina, Nebraska, but I don't see that being realistic. We kind of talked about that earlier too. But yeah, Oregon hasn't been happy with their whole quarterback situation with Anthony Brown. I know they got a 5-star sitting on the bench and Ty Thompson, and he's not ready to go. They also got Bo Nix in the transfer portal. But I just know they haven't been happy with their quarterback situation, and Caleb could very well go there and thrive because I think he's much more talented than Bo Nix, and I haven't really seen anything on Ty Thompson, but just from their fan base, I've heard that he's not ready to go. But yeah, very, very surprising, I would say, for a lot of OU fans. But I think he avoided the question in the postgame in the Alamo Bowl. He said, I'm going on vacation with my family, spending some time with them. And it kind of hurt because he didn't announce he was going to remain with OU, and that kind of hinted to me. So I don't know about you, but that's how it felt for me, man.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how a lot of Sooner Nation feels, and I understand where they're coming from. They feel like Caleb Williams' postponement of his announcement each time, like we thought maybe he would announce, after the whole Lincoln Riley issue, like we thought he would announce before the bowl game, and then we thought he would announce maybe, or when they hired Brent Venables, or then maybe he would announce after the bowl game, and he's just kept pushing it along, and now he's in the transfer portal, but he's saying that he could come back, so now we're still, as a fan base, kind of left in limbo. That's why I think the fan base is frustrated, or at least that's one of the reasons. So, and I mean, he is an incredible talent, and he did have an incredible season at Oklahoma, but his head coach left, so at the same time, you have to understand where he's coming from as well. But also, he obviously has a huge support structure in his family and everything. So I wonder how much of an impact they're also having on this decision for him as well. Because it sounds like I don't know. Do you think he'd be worried about not getting developed as a quarterback?
I think he would. I think he would have
new coaching staff.
I think he would have a golden opportunity to do that under Oklahoma, because I really do think Oklahoma's on the way up, and getting Jeff Lebby was huge. But really, if you're being recruited by Lincoln Riley, put the blame on him, man. That's my opinion. If you're being talked to with Lincoln and saying, hey, I really like your talent, come to OU, I will put you in the first round of the NFL draft. That was what the conversations were. And you can't blame him. I wish the best for him, and I truly do hope he comes back to OU, because we definitely need him. It's going to hurt to see him go elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it okay, where can he go that he would be surrounded by more talent than is already at Oklahoma, disregarding who might also leave with him at skilled positions, which we can get into later. But, I mean, yeah, if he goes to Georgia, obviously he'll be surrounded by more talent. I mean, they do have really good wide receivers. They just never really get utilized in that offense with Kirby Smart. So, I mean, another place, LSU, maybe. I've heard rumors about that. I mean, they produced Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and they both broke rookie NFL receiving records their first years in the league. So,
and I believe
obviously LSU can produce, effective wide receivers if they have a quarterback. So those are probably Nebraska doesn't seem likely. Oregon, I could understand it, but like you said, they got a pretty good crowded quarterback room already, and it's really far away from home for him, But it would be nice to see him face off against Lincoln Riley every year. That'd be exciting.
Right, and the reason he said he entered the portal is because he couldn't make contact with other teams to explore his options if he was still at OU. So there is a chance of him coming back, and I hope I see it. Another guy is maybe Casey Thompson, I've heard, coming to OU. But there's a guy that I want to talk about. It's Dillon Gabriel. Okay, he has the experience with Jeff Lebby. They played together in 2019, and Gabriel was in 2019, he broke the UCF record for passing yards. And he's pretty efficient, did really well as a freshman, had a really good 2021 season, or 2020 season, I should say. In 2019, those two really meshed together, Lebby and Gabriel. Gabriel had 3,393 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, which is really solid for a freshman quarterback. And in 2020, he had 3,500, 32 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So he progressively got better. 2021 season got cut short. He was out with a broken collarbone, and that's rough. That's rough to see. So that's kind of a worry coming to Oklahoma. He transferred to UCLA, and as soon as Caleb Williams entered the transfer portal, here comes Dillon Gabriel to link back up with Jeff Lebby.
Yeah, Dillon Gabriel announced on Twitter his commitment to Oklahoma, literally within hours of Caleb Williams entering the transfer portal. Which is interesting because that means that obviously Brent Venables and his staff was in contact with Dillon Gabriel. Sorry, Dillon Gabriel. Prior to that, but it's interesting because UCLA, he wouldn't have been able to transfer if he had started class at UCLA, which starts today, the day we're recording, the 4th, I think, is when class starts for UCLA. So just literally in the nick of time, because he didn't start class, he was able to transfer to Oklahoma, and they don't start class for a while, I don't think. So it works out for him. But yeah, I think this is a great response by the coaching staff at Oklahoma to Caleb Williams entering the transfer portal, because now at least the fan base can sigh a breath of relief and say, or a sigh of relief and say, okay, we at least have a guy coming in that's played with the incoming offensive coordinator. Like, he's played under him. Jeff Levy was the OC at UCF. So, yeah, definitely a great move by them to say, you know, hey, we're going to move on with or without you, and we're going to get guys that we need in our locker room that are going to be with us. So, you know.
Yeah, and that's huge going chemistry-wise for OU. And, you know, with that being said, Oklahoma gets Todd Bates, D-line coach from Clemson, and he's got an amazing track record. Emerson, you said it earlier. He was 2019 Recruiter of the Year. He's had 4 college football playoff appearances with Clemson, was a part of that national title team, and that rout of Alabama 44-16 with Trevor Lawrence. You know, he's put multiple guys in the first round and NFL draft. So this guy's legit. So tell me a little bit about Todd Bates, Emerson.
I mean, yeah, Todd Bates, I think he had all 4 of his defensive linemen on that 2017 team.
It was the national championship team. He had 3 guys go in the first round. That was Clelin Ferrell with number 4 to the Raiders. Christian Wilkins went 13 to the Dolphins. And then Dexter Lawrence went 17 to the Giants, and they had Austin Bryant go to the 4th round to the Lions. So this dude is going to be able to recruit. He's from Alabama. He played at Alabama from 2001 to 2004. He knows that SEC territory, and he's going to be able to walk into anybody's living room and say, hey, come play at Oklahoma. And we haven't seen this probably since Gerald McCoy, who was right in Oklahoma's backyard. And we haven't been able to get those guys that are in the state of Oklahoma. So this is huge. We're going to be able to build an absolute monster defense under these guys.
Yeah. Like you said, he played at Alabama. He played in the league for 2 years, so he understands what it takes to be a professional at that level. And like you said, he's developed a lot of really, really good defensive lines. And, like all 3 first-round draft picks at defensive line. That's insane. Insane, dude. And you're going to have a dominating and physical and punishing defense with guys like that. And guys that, like you said, can recruit in the Southeast and know how this stuff works. Brent Venables is... it seems like he's kind of putting together like an A-team, you know, or an Avengers. He's got a squad coming into Oklahoma as far as staff goes, and I think Oklahoma fans should be really excited. And it makes you wonder, like, does that impact some of the recruits we lost? Do you think Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy thinks twice about his transfer or his commitment to A&M? I don't know, maybe, but you're already starting to see on Twitter recruiting pick up because of this hiring, and it's really exciting to see, and fans should be definitely on the lookout for him to hit the ground running.
It's huge because I think these coaches are going to mesh so well together, and it's going to increase the developing stage of these players probably twice as fast, just because, one, these guys have all coached together, not only Venables and Bates, but Todd Roof as well. You know, they've all spent some time together. And Jeff Levy, these guys all want to be at Oklahoma. And then that was the big thing, getting Dillon Gabriel too. It's just the chemistry is just forming under Oklahoma. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and you look up and down this staff that Brent Venables is assembling, and I mean, everyone that he's getting either has ties to the Southeast, or they've proven that they can recruit the Southeast, or they've been a part of a championship winning team. Like you said, Todd Bates. I mean, he won a national championship at Clemson. He won a FCS national championship at Jacksonville State, and he was 33-6 there as a D lines coach, and 23-0 in conference. I mean, it's pretty impressive. So you look up and down this staffing sheet, and everyone has ties to Southeast. They've been part of championships teams. They understand the culture and what those requirements are. It's looking really, really promising.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see. But with that, Emerson, do you have anything else before we wrap it up?
Well, just some things to touch on for people to think about. What's his name? Todd Valet.
Okay. Alabama DB's coach.
Jay Valet. Potentially, they're targeting him, the cornerbacks coach from Bama. And he had developed guys like Patrick Surtain II, who immediately contributed to a really good defense at Denver this year as a rookie. So he's obviously able to develop top-tier talent and get them ready to play at the NFL level immediately. And then you got to think about people that might leave when with Caleb Williams, transfer portal entering, like Jaleel Farouk, who basically came to Oklahoma because of Caleb Williams.
He looked good in the Alabama
he was
Bowl.
And he played really well. He was the second best receiver in bowl season by PFF on Twitter. I saw that. That was interesting. And he had only gone to Oklahoma for the Sooner Summit that summer before committing because of Caleb. So if Caleb's gone, Jaleel, I could see leaving. Also, I've heard Mario Williams potentially, unless he stays because of baseball or something like that. So that'll be interesting to watch. Also, Mike Woods has declared for the draft. So Oklahoma's wide receiver room is getting more and more bare by the second. Rocking with Theo Weiss and Drake Stoops right now. So let's roll. That's not bad, but we need some depth. And then Cody Jackson could also potentially be another guy to watch that could potentially leave because of Caleb Williams. That's all I got.
Yeah, that would. Farouk looked really good in the Alamo Bowl. Theo Weiss comes back. He was one of those guys that entered the portal and came back. So maybe we can get the same luck with Williams. And I guess it's just a waiting game. Williams is expected to make a decision within 1 to 2 weeks because that's when the classes start. So he's gonna have to make a decision real soon. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And Boomer Sooner.